Good evening, YouTube family. Here today to discuss some tap water filtration. Um, I was watching some YouTube videos and I forget the guy's name. Later on, I'll put him in the description. He was explaining on how to filter tap water into your aquarium, and from that idea, I'm going to now make my own trash can filled with water, tap water, filtered water, so when I need it, it's there. So here are some of the materials that I have brought together. To kind of throw together this little experiment. I'll explain as I go along. So pretty much we're gonna be using this tube here, this PVC pipe, got it at Home Depot. And what I'm gonna be putting inside here is all of this. And what that's gonna do is gonna filter out the water, my tap water, and that way it can be good to go when I need to do water changes for my aquarium. So I'm not gonna get into how I'm gonna put it together, but I will go over the material and what it is that I'm gonna use. So this will be, here's the cap, also from Home Depot. Drilled some holes in it, and it's gonna go down into this trash can. It's gonna be held up by duct tape there. On the other side, I'm gonna put the cap on, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna stuff a bunch of media in there, stick the water hose here, and just very open it very lightly. And I'm hoping like in 2 days maybe we'll filter enough tap water to fill this trash can. I think this trash can may be about 50 gallons. So I want to put somehow maybe convert the water hose into just a very minimal drip to get the maximum filtration on the water. And that's it. And then I ordered a solar powered water pump. So I have this trash can outside, and I'll jerry rig it to filter or just have some type of continuous movement of water. That way the water doesn't go stale, and I could just come out here and grab buckets of water when I need it to do water changes for my tanks. I will be using a mixture of moss, which will balance out my pH in combination with the sheet moss. I will also be using a clay substrate. This is also it's gonna buffer my KH and my pH. This works really well actually. So I'll probably put this like in the bag, the netting that I use to hold this type of substrate is good old nylon. I buy these at the 99-cent store, Dollar Tree. When I see them, I grab them, and I cut pieces from them, and I use these cable ties, and that holds the substrate really well. You can see the type of you could actually see through it, which is good, which will hold your substrate. If you want to put charcoal, clay, I also use it for ceramic tile to hold everything in place. Yeah, these nylons, if your girlfriend or wife has some old ones laying around, it's a good way to hold all your chemical filtration. I'll also be using this floss bag. It's filled with charcoal. We'll be using a sponge I'll probably cut it out and just kind of stuff it into the pipe. I'll be using some of this media. Also, actually, we'll go over some the way I plan on leveling the levels for the filtration. So first, I would get borrow some of these Mexican pebbles here, right? And I would put these. I'm gonna put these on the end cap. That's the first thing that's gonna go down are the Mexican pebbles, and that's gonna keep from clogging the holes on the cap for this. So it's the Mexican pebbles. Then I'll follow with this. It's charcoal and floss. So that's gonna go in there. Push it down. I gotta get your make some to makeshift some type of pusher thingamajiggy. All right, stick that in there. Then I would go with put this here. This is this will keep very fine particles from going through. This I picked up at a pet store. Like I don't know, like $5 for a square or something. Also, this I'll be using. After that, I'll be using this. This is a polishing filter pad, 150 micron is what it says. 50 micron. So anything that's under 50 micron particles, like the size of it, will not pass through this. I will also, after that, I'll use a layer of this material here. This brand here, I can't really say if it works or not. I used this in my biological filtration crashed and I had high ammonia spikes. I used this. The ammonia didn't go away. So I don't know if it was just too much ammonia I couldn't handle. But I can't say for sure if it does work or not. However, same company also makes this one here for nitrate. This one I could say does work. During that same time when my biological filtration was coming to par, had a high nitrate spike, and I put this in there. By the next day, boom, it was gone. All nitrates gone. So yes, this I can say does work. Not so sure. Definitely yes. So I would cut out a square, stuff it down the pipe, stuff this, again, cut out a square, stuff that down the pipe. I also have different types of chemical filtration that I will be using. This one will remove phosphate. It's actually sitting in the rock salt solution. This one is I forget what this is for. This is to reduce hard water in your tank. So if all those minerals that tap water has, the calcium, all those hard deposit, this is what's going to help to reduce that. And this one will remove phosphate and silicate, phosgard. So I will put this in a nylon stocking, tie some cable ties on both ends, shoot that down the tube, and I'm gonna finish up top the first layer where the water would start to trickle down, combination of the peat moss, and under that will be the nylon bag of clay. So all of that will go down this tube. Very slow trickle, tap water, very slow. And once that's all You know, maybe just, I don't even go all the way, maybe just halfway. That's all I really need. And once that solar powered pump comes in, I will try to convert this, throw it in there, and somehow keep running the water through this tube here using that solar power. Try to make a video on that. Didn't get to the floss. If I have space in that tube, I'll just put this this filter floss in there, and this this is lava rock maybe at the bottom. You can also use this instead of if you don't have Mexican pebbles, you can also use this at the bottom or on the top. This could also be goes on the top. The way it works and for filtration is really you want to start off with your natural stuff, your moss, rocks, clay, gravel, lava rocks, and then after that it trickles through that, then that's when you want to go and start with your sponge, your other type of media, and then your final layer at the bottom should be a polishing material with the activated charcoal, and that should be your last layer. Okay, so I'm gonna put everything together, and I'll come back and do another video on the water chemistry between the tap water and see if all of this does make a difference in filtering out water and in the process that I used. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. And on that, thank you for letting me share, and you guys have a good night. Thank you.